Lá, 30 segundos para começar. Battefield 5. Parece uma mulher ali. Caças da Segunda Guerra. Acho que eu vi um hurricane ali. Começou.
Thanks, Bran. You know, I've been playing Battlefield as long as I can remember. And over the past 16 years, these games have come a long way. From 1942 to Bad Company to Battlefield 4 and up to Battlefield 1. And today, I'm taking on the most important mission objective I've ever been a part of, telling all of you about Battlefield 5. I'm geared up, ready to go. My squad's out there, so let's deploy because we are live in London. Let's get the show started.
Uma história de 16 anos. Foi de 4, 3, Bad Company, 2, tá voltando. 2142. Battefield 2, Vietnã, (42). Faltou alguns aí.
Welcome, everyone, to the Battlefield 5 live reveal. I'm your host for this evening, Trevor Noah, and I'm so excited to be here introducing this new edition of Battlefield, which for some reason everyone has already assumed is Battlefield 5. I mean, and not Battlefield V. Could be V. Why not V? Battlefield V could be just as good. Yeah, I do love that fans on Twitter are actually changing the V's in their profiles for this game, something my mother did many years ago ahead of the curve. And most people don't know this, but the V in my name is actually a 5. Yeah, my name is actually pronounced Trev5 or Noah. Very unique. As a huge fan of these games, I've always loved how captivating the Battlefield is. And today, you'll see that Battlefield 5 has the most immersive Battlefield ever. If you've ever been in a battle with me, you know that I'm the most dedicated support class you will ever meet. I'm in the mud, repairing the tanks. You know, I'm laying down mines as tank rushers come in. One time, I even repaired a plane mid-air that might be alive, but I'm sticking with it. Because you see, I love that glorious joy of being the uncelebrated hero in a battle. And this game is going to have tons of moments like that. There are so many new and exciting features coming to you in Battlefield 5 that you will learn about today. The next level of large-scale multiplayer, Battlefield 5 single-player war stories, and we'll start showing you the epic post-launch journey all players will experience when the game is finally released. And you know we've got some other surprises, so why waste time? Let's get straight into it and get the show started. I'm joined now by the producers of Battlefield 5, Andreas Morel, Ryan MacArthur, and Lars Gustafsson, everybody.
As armas do veículo, as fortificações.
Gentlemen, I'm not here as a professional anything. I am here as a gamer. I am here as a Battlefield player. I am here to ask only the questions I am interested in. You have made a horrible mistake.
I knew it, I told you.
Let's start at the beginning. You are taking players back to where the Battlefield franchise started, World War II. Now, at this point, are you like those guys, you know, those elderly pilots that they find on an island in the Pacific, you know, who think that the war never ended? Is that who you are right now?
Já revelou tudo.
It did. It ended. You told me. We tried to break it to you gently, Lars.
But Lars, why go back to that now?
To be honest with you, it's really, I mean, we yearned for years to go back to where it all started about 16 years ago. And,
Ele está falando que eles gostariam de voltar onde tudo começou
gained so much
anteriormente.
experience that this is really the game we wanted to build, and that we did.
It's really something the guys back home guys are really passionate about, the whole era. Just ask Mr. Battlefield, he was there.
Right, Mr. Battlefield, that's Lars's nickname.
Market Garden.
Known as Madame Battlefield. Now, players have experienced World War
Vão
II
ter
in
cenários
so
no
many
deserto,
movies
parece.
and in games. It's really difficult to come up with a new and fresh perspective. What perspective are you bringing to it with this version of Battlefield? Andreas, will this be more Saving Private Ryan or Inglourious Bastards?
So we've seen all the movies.
Ele está perguntando se o jogo vai ser mais como o Resgate do Soldado Ryan, o filme, ou como Bastardos Inglórios.
Just by playing the games. so for us, going back to where it all began for us, is really about delivering a World War II experience that no one's never seen before. Really kind of hitting on the unseen locations, the untold stories, the unplayed moments.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's really taking you on the journey from the start. And at a go, you will be able to play the German forces, the British forces, and we want to take you on that journey, you know, to
Ele fala
exotic
que
places
inicialmente
like
você vai jogar com os
Scandinavia,
britânicos e com os
home
alemães.
turf, but in
Ainda não
Norway,
falou das outras
or
facções.
rugged deserts where the battles took
Os
place
Panzer
in Northern
4
Africa.
ali,
Why not to the
soldado alemão com
ruins of the once so
MP4.
beautiful Rotterdam? So it's really to take you on a journey. And we want to do this with a kind of a fresh and modern take, so really hopefully surprise the players, but also to please them.
You've given me a sneak peek, and so many words come to my mind. I mean, intense, immense, powerful. Ryan, do you have a specific way that you want players to see this Battlefield?
Well, I think the best way we can describe it is immersive. I mean, this needs to feel like the most immersive Battlefield that players have ever played. I mean, we want them to exploit the Battlefield in ways they've never been able to before. I mean, when you look at the chaotic multiplayer that the franchise is known for and sort of fan classics like Conquest and some of the new modes that they guys are working on, like Airborne. You know, we're going back with War Stories, sort of that anthology storytelling that we had, we built in BF1, and telling new stories about men and women that change history. I mean, we get to tell everyone today that co-op is back in Battlefield 5, and that's a huge thing for us. And this is just the beginning. I mean, launch is just the beginning for this game, and we really want to take players on a journey through World War II.
It always feels like it's a journey. That's what it always feels like with Battlefield. Like, one thing I loved about the game was how the maps and the world was constantly changing. You know, it felt like my bedroom at home. I never knew what to expect. And I think when looking at this game, Andreas, what's your vision to take this to the next level?
So we're really building on what we started with previous games.
Eles estão falando muito em
really
começar
giving
de
players
da onde o jogo
the most
veio.
immersive world that they could enter. You should really be grounded in it. Expanding on the movement set that we've done so well, really pushing all these new features that we're going to be talking about.
Right, it sounds great. I'm genuinely excited. I have a few highlights that I'm looking forward to. Let's dive into it and talk about some of the gameplay. Here to do that is Daniel Berlin.
In Battlefield 5, we're expanding the toolbox for the player, giving you access to new abilities to create your own and brand new Battlefield moments. Now there's a deeper connection between the player and the world around you. You will be physically pushed by the shockwaves from explosions. You can experience completely new ways to traverse and tactically maneuver across the battlefield with our overhauled movement system. Our renowned destruction will rip up the terrain, leave chunks of masonry hanging from destroyed buildings, or have high-caliber rounds ripped straight through walls to take out enemies hiding inside. We're also bringing back classic modes, such as Majority Rule Conquest, but we also have new modes and experiences for our unique take on World War II.
Fala que o Conquest volta, é claro, né?
Bang, and we're calling it Grand Operations.
Novo modo,
Here,
Grand
you'll
Operations.
experience multiple game modes as you fight over multiple maps, all wrapped within our narrative journey through historically inspired battles from World War II. With the return of our anthology format for single-player war stories, with new characters to meet and untold stories to discover. Back to you, Trevor.
Now, Daniel just talked about a new multiplayer experience called Grand Operations.
Vamos ver o que é esse Grand
And I'm really
Operations.
excited because it sounds to me like you can pilot a giant grand piano like a tank. I'm pretty certain that's what it is, right, Andreas?
I'm not sure about the piano, but it's definitely massive. It's really about reliving all these power fantasies from World War II, like Airborne being power dropped in, and it's operations from Battlefield 1, but bigger. It's really great.
Yeah, I mean, what we want players to feel like is sort of a dynamic player-impacted experience taking place over 4 fictional days. I mean, day 1 starts with you jumping out of an airplane and with the objective to destroy the enemy artillery, with that enemy sort of entrenching themselves to defend and protect. And depending on how the outcome of day 1 goes for you, as the two main forces start to battle over day 2 in a game of breakthrough, with the number of lives you have left remaining, depending on what you did the day before. And then as you continue to push on into new locations, we're going to see things like Conquest Assault, where players continue to fight for that terrain. And assuming, when we see these players end up in a giant stalemate, then they're going to enter day 4, which is Final Stand. And I mean, this is sort of tired, muddy, no resources left. You've got just you, your squad, and one clip. And you all fight to the last man standing with the weight of the world on your shoulders.
So this is a game mode that you may never see if your games are not in a stalemate. You may never get to that 4th map and 4th story then.
Exactly.
That's an exciting way to play the game. I want to know when we can see more of that.
2 weeks. EA Play, Los Angeles. You get hands-on multiplayer for the first time if you're there.
Ele fala que esse modo grande operações vai ser em dias, né?
Wow.
E dependendo de como termina a partida no determinado dia,
I heard you guys say
o
that
próximo mapa vai ser modo
that's one of my
diferente de
favorite
jogo.
aspects of
Ele falou
Battlefield
até
1.
no modo
Lars,
de
can you tell me more about that
sobrevivência,
mode?
I definitely can.
só
I'm happy
squad
to say
luta
that for
até o
the first
final.
time since Battlefield 3, co-op is back, and we're calling it Combined Arms. And here it's yet another way to experience that Battlefield sandbox, next to our war stories and the multiplayer. And what we want to do here is to allow you and up to 3 players to go online and step into those shoes of the Pathfinders, those paratroopers that go in behind enemy lines. And here you really only have the soldier next to you, maybe not Brian, the soldier next to you to rely upon as you move forward. Since, getting detected might mean death, and you will soon be struck by resource scarcity. You need to find the tools and find your way to the objective. So stakes are high, and you need to kind of assess, can I push through or do we need to extract early? It's kind of win or lose. It's up to you.
I've been a huge fan of war stories, the single-player campaign in Battlefield 1. What I truly enjoyed about it was I felt like I was learning about the stories behind the war and playing through the stories of the war, and it didn't always end well. And what I loved is because of that history element, like for instance, I told my little brother, I said, hey, if mom ever catches you playing, just say this is a history class that you're doing on the console. And then what I'd do is I'd tell my mom he was going to do that so she would know that I was always her favorite. And what was great was seeing the story. Lars, like, how is single player going to change in Battlefield 5?
Don't tell this to my kids. Well, aren't they changing? I mean, to me, I'm happy that you like the war stories. And for us, the war stories are really our opportunity to put the war into perspective. It's really about those human and untold stories of the war. And we try to portray those kind of real and relatable people facing epic warfare. And it's Battlefield after all, so we'll be talking a lot here today about the gameplay improvements. So player agency is key, so you can create your own Battlefield moments. And at the bottom line, it's about allowing you to witness the Second World War, but through the eyes of the men and women that changed the world.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see here, I mean, this is one of the war stories that we're going to be talking about first. I mean, this is our Nordlys story. This is the story of a young woman who is part of the Norwegian resistance fighters, fighting the German occupation during World War II. I mean, this is an exploration of emotion and feelings. It's a family story. Right? And this not only sort of really grounds the players in the reality, but sort of sets the context of the World War II that we're trying to create at DICE.
It's not often that you find stories that connect with the emotion of the characters in the story. Instead of just focusing on the explosions and the gunfire, you see that look in her eyes. You want to know what she's thinking, what she's experiencing in that story. Why was it so important for you to focus on the people behind the stories from war?
Well, I think it's important to tell, sort of believable and sort of honest stories and really sort of set the context and sort of maintain that connection to the world that we're trying to create. I think it's important for people to understand where we're coming from and what our particular take is on World War II.
So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go back to Daniel now to cover what you'll take to the battlefield with you.
In Battlefield 5, we're aiming to mirror the immense arsenal of the Second World War. This was a period that saw an explosion in terms of innovation when it comes to weapons and vehicles. You will get to fly iconic airplanes, engage in incredible tank battles, and also unleash secret weapons from World War II.
Opa,
Weapons
ter
that are
armas
powerful enough to turn the
secretas,
tide of
protótipos da
any
Segunda
battle.
Guerra.
And with the new fortification
Nos
system,
veículos.
you can be more strategic than ever in how you choose to defend or advance through the terrain. Back to you guys.
You know, in playing Battlefield, I know everyone in the audience will agree with me, people at home as well. I've always been impressed by the level of realism in the game. I remember once I was playing with a friend who served in special forces.
Mostrando
And
algumas
we were
armas
talking about our
ali
favorite
embaixo,
guns,
né?
and I was talking about the
Pelo que
recoil and what I
parece,
liked
as
about the
skins
sights versus
retornam,
other
né?
guns. And he turned to me at one point and he said, "Oh, where did you serve?" And I felt embarrassed because I was like, "Oh, Battlefield 3. That's where I was." And instead of him being angry, he was like, "I didn't know that there was a game that was that immersive, something that really was as true to real without being a war simulation as possible." Guys, tell me about some of your favorite weapons in the game, some of the new vehicles that will be available in Battlefield 5.
I think
E alemães
first,
também.
just by going back to this era, the pool of hardware that we can choose from is immense. There's so much there. And for me, being a vehicle guy, it's really quite a simple choice. It's the Tiger 1.
Stuka,
Tiger 1
né?
tank.
I think it's the most iconic
Stuka's a
tank
Fus.
from this era. I just think it's amazing.
What do you like about it? That's a weird choice for me.
Cromwell, né?
Have you seen it?
Inglês,
I think it's
esse aí, o
the
buzeiro.
best.
What, like the looks?
A bit, but also
Are you saying that, are you checking out a tank?
Have you been in a battle with that?
Yeah, but I've never looked at it. I'm like, if I'm on the outside, I'm dying. If I'm on the inside, I'm concentrating. When are you looking? When are you doing
You
this?
should try a third-person camera.
And just run around the tank dying, and everyone's going to be like, "Who's that guy looking at the tank?"
It's come on, it's beautiful.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, good.
So Andreas is a tank guy. Mr. Battlefield Laws, how about you?
I'm with you, Trevor.
Yeah, you think he's weird. I know. Yeah.
We've been trying to hide it, but now it's out. No, the fact that I'm also a support player. I can't hit the barn from the inside, so I need the big
O
shots.
Lars,
And
ele
for
gosta de
me, the
jogar de suporte.
MG42 is really the weapon I play in the playtest.
Right, my man.
It has that iconic sound that, you know, it sends fear all over the map. And another part of it is the new kind of system which Daniel talked about for high-caliber weapons. So previously, I could make the same impact as a pistol, basically. But this time around, it comes with a punch. So where the pistol gets stuck in the wall, I can rip through. So I can finally make a difference on the battlefield.
Hashtag no more knocking.
Vamos ver, ele
I
está
like
falando
this.
que armas
Alright, so
de
we got a tank
calibre
guy.
maior irão
We've got a
parar as
weapons guy,
paredes.
Ryan.
Well, sort of
Eu
embarrassing to
acredito
admit,
que dependendo do material da parede, balística vai fazer, né? Calculada vai fazer com que eles varem as paredes.
In
Interessante.
Battlefield 5, we're going to replace that gas mask with a toolbox. So that means I can run around the battlefield with my toolbox, setting up fortifications, and sort of really changing the dynamic of the battlefield so that these guys who can actually hit something, I can offer some value on the playing field.
Wait. So fortifications, you just skimmed over that, but what is fortifications?
Well, I mean, this as a support player, I mean, I think this is something you really love. It's something I think is a great addition to the game.
Os jogadores de suporte poderão fazer setup de
This is something you can sort of pull out your toolbox. You can
parece com o que a
build
gente viu no
reinforcements. You
trailer
can
de
reinforce buildings
Black
that Andreas
Ops,
has
né?
destroyed with his
Mostra
tank.
soldado lá montando
You can build
escudo.
foxholes and set up machine guns so people like Lars can sit there and camp out at choke points. I mean, this is going to change the strategic way people play both as attackers and defenders.
Fortnite,
Was that in response to the gaming community? Because I know as a Battlefield gamer, I always wanted what I didn't have. So first I was going, hey guys, I need destruction. I need places to fall apart. And then at some point I was like, too much destruction. Like there's nothing left. Was this a response?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of esteemed players in here in the studio today and in
jogador
the
de
community
suporte,
overall,
então,
who at some
vai
point,
ter
especially
novo
when we're
papel.
testing
Ele
now,
vai
we came to a
montar as
point where the level was
fortificações.
leveled. The one was leveled and you couldn't advance. So basically, this is to counter that and give you an additional
Deve
kind of
montar
toolbox
os
to rebuild.
ninhos,
And
né,
then you and I can come in as
MG,
heroes
né?
again, and they fortify.
acredito que
We
seja
come
algo
there
assim.
and we add an extra heavy machine gun or an AA gun. So it's kind of teamwork once again, and we are the celebrated heroes.
We are the celebrated heroes we deserve to be. I like that, Lars.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, now that we've learned about the tools, let's hear about the company. Here to tell us more, please welcome Natalie Eek.
Trevor, and yes, the company is something that is completely new to Battlefield 5. It's your personal collection of customized soldiers, weapons, and vehicles that you can tailor and grow as you play. The company is the heart and soul of your personal experience, and the choices you make here for your company actually matters. Not only will your choices affect the way you look, but
Pelo que
also how your
apareceu ali,
weapons and
vão
vehicles
ter
play.
como você escolher
As you
tanques
squad up
leves
with
e
your
tanques
friends,
pesados.
make sure to pick a soldier that complements the rest of your squad to take on the battle ahead. And during the game, adapt to the changing circumstances by calling your company and bring in the right soldier, weapon, or vehicle to suit your situation. Back to you, Trevor.
Andreas, that really sounds awesome. Tell me more about the company and how it works, because I know from my years in Battlefield that the group that really plays together stays together.
Now, the company is something that we're super excited about. So for the first time, you can now create your own personal experience with the soldiers you take onto the battlefield. It's really up to you to decide how you want them to play and also how they look. So as you keep playing and you get better, your soldiers will get better with you.
So give me an example of how this would impact me as a support class.
So if you take your support class player you start playing with that soldier and you start progressing him, you're going to unlock a set of new abilities, new perks, and sort of these new exotic ways to play the game as a support class, and then unlock new weapons for yourself to play with. You take that machine gun that Lars loves so much, and you level that machine gun up. You make the choices that matter, and then you decide, well, I think this needs its own custom paint job. So you sort of make that machine gun, really make it your own, and then you go in and you grab that sort of iconic support outfit that you really want to wear going into
Você
battle.
vai poder mudar a aparência do seu avatar, do seu
It's funny you brought up
soldado.
customization because I've always believed in Battlefield the team is important, but looking badass is the most important thing. I think anyone who's been in war can agree with this. Please tell me that I can customize my look
Vai
to
falar
be
agora
properly badass
como você
in
pode
Battlefield.
modificar
Well, yeah, of course. I
a
mean, if
aparência
it's
do seu
worth doing, it's
soldado.
worth doing looking good.
Right.
So I think, part of the tactical gameplay that comes with Battlefield, I mean, what we want to do is give you the ability to create your own personal identity. So, no more anonymous soldiers. This is your soldiers in their boots going into battle. Their own weapons, customized the way that you want to do it, the gear that you want them to wear. I mean, this is going to feel like it's your own personal arsenal.
And obviously, I want to get as much of that arsenal as I can possibly get. How do I even begin getting all of this gear?
You play the game. I mean, for what we want players is you get rewarded for playing the game.
Yeah,
Interessante. Ele fala que para você progredir o seu soldado, você tem que só jogar. Ainda não falou sobre as microtransações.
That you always feel rewarded for what you do, whatever you play.
So you just play to unlock these items. Then I guess I have to ask, and I know it's a sensitive subject, but I'm still going to go there. Is this game going to be pay to win?
No, you can't pay to get an unfair gameplay advantage.
What if I have a lot of money?
Call me.
So you won't be able to pay?
No. So in Battlefield, it's always been about a balanced rock, paper, scissors gameplay, and it still is. You really have to, like Les was saying, you have to play the game to earn new gear, and skill is really key.
Okay, but what about Premium Pass? Will it be one of those games where I have to shell out another $50 6 months after I've bought the game? Is that how it works?
Well, I guess I get the fun part of not taking any more of your money as well. But no, there's no more Premium Pass in this game. This means no more.
Oh! Não tem Premium Pass. Agora vamos ver, que isso no Battefield 2 não deu muito certo.
Thank you. Yes.
Vamos ver.
I mean, this means no more paying for maps, no more paying for modes. This is something the community has asked for. This is something the team really believes in. So what we want is a game where people stay together, they play the games together, and they get to go on this journey through World War II together.
That's beautiful. That means I finally lose my nickname, No Maps Noah. This is so dope. All right, well, it's time to learn about what happens after the game launches. So, to tell us all about live service, please welcome back Natalie and Daniel.
Live service. Vamos ver agora.
So launch is really just the beginning. Tides of War is an epic journey that you and your company will take through World War II. It will bring you an evolving, diverse game that will grow over time as we immerse you and your company in different theaters of war. Playing Battlefield 5 is an experience unlike any other. It will differ from all previous Battlefield games. And the most important thing, it's open to all players.
Yes, and there will always be new battles, new fronts, and rewards on the horizon. And by removing Premium Pass, we are keeping the community together. So this time, there will be no expansion packs, and all players will be able to take part in the same journey through Battlefield 5. And with Tides of War, our players will experience themed chapters of World War II, each spanning over several months. And these will focus on key moments that impacted the outcome of the conflict. Trevor?
This sounds to me like a wild, full ride through World War II, but Lars, like, how big of a journey will this be?
Vai ser uma jornada, vai ser, pelo que eu entendi, vai ter
to
teatro em determinados meses, depois vai mudar, por exemplo, para o fronte oriental, para o fronte do Pacífico.
We want to take you on that journey with chapters from the history, and at the end of it, we really want you to be kind of experiences daily, weekly, and monthly events leading up to kind of the pinnacle of the grand operations and experience to achieve those special assignments, getting treated with extra rewards. So it is about keeping it fresh and constantly evolving, since what we see here and talk about here today is just the beginning. And as you play it through, you start to be taken to a new horizon, new locations, new gameplay, and I mean, stick in for the ride.
It sounds like it's going to be one of those experiences where the more I play, the more cool stuff I can get. I get rewarded for my time. Is that going to be across different modes?
It's really simple. You just have to play the game to earn new cool gear.
Damage
doesn't matter
events,
if it's
dog
multiplayer
tags,
or combined
face
arms.
paint, você vai poder mudar a sua
like you see
aparência.
here, you will be able to earn new vehicles, new weapons. It's going to be
E
dog
as
tags
armas.
and soldier skins,
Cara, é o
weapon
que
skin. It's
a
all
gente
there
pediu
to really
durante muito
customize
tempo.
your
Principalmente
crew
a
to
pintura de
really
rosto
be
e
standing out on
você
the battlefield the way
mudar
you
o
want
seu
it to be.
uniforme.
It sounds amazing, and I only have one question, and that is, when does this all start?
Well, the game launches in October. So starting November, running through early 2019, we're going to start with our first chapter, which is going to focus on the fall of Europe. So we're going to explore sort of the German mechanized war machine as it pushes its way into Europe. This is going to be live gameplay-focused events. We're going to have thematic rewards tied to this. You know, we can't wait to talk to the community more about this as we lead up to launch.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to lie, you guys have definitely raised my analog stick.
O jogo lança com a invasão, a Blitzkrieg alemã
the
na Europa.
most immersive battlefield yet
Cara, isso é
in a
muito
World
maneiro.
War II you have never seen before, where launch is just the beginning of the journey. I'm done talking.
Trailer. Vamos
I
ao
think it's
trailer.
time we see this thing. Are you all ready?
Oh, meu Deus.
Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The
Vamos
first
lá,
time ever,
vamos
the
lá.
reveal trailer for Battlefield 5.
Cavalo. Resistência francesa. As balas varando. Takedown. Soldado inglês. Opa, uma Keffercan. Caraca. A MG-42 na mão. O gameplay tá bem realista. Caraca, a arma toda suja de sangue. Caramba, uma arma experimental alemã. Acho que é o V2 Rocket, ou V1.
Fuck it! Hello, old friend.
Muita coisa aconteceu.
games play best on Xbox One.
Wow. Wow. The car, the thing, the man, the boo. You saw the thing, the man, the huh? I hope they got insurance. That was insane. Did you see that?
We did see it.
That was, Andreas, I don't feel like you saw it. I feel like you've seen it before.
I might have seen it before.
The person jumped on their back and then started shooting while moving on their back.
Yeah. It's cool. That's all I can say.
This is what happens when you live life in a tank, Andreas. That was exciting. Give it up for that one more time. That was an amazing trailer. Oh, wow. So wait, so before we go, am I correct in saying there were some new animations there were some new moves that you could do in the game?
Tem que olhar esse trailer.
Okay, thank you, Andreas. Thank you, Andreas.
To be honest, I think we should thank the team back home in Stockholm for
huge call out.
helping us to get to this point. I think they are truly amazing, and the fans. Again, we've been waiting for this moment for so long to be able to reveal what we've been working on.
This is really packed with gameplay, and then, I mean, a lot of this is direct feedback from community, leading to a lot of these improvements. So it's a huge thank you for the support, and once again, the team for doing an extraordinary job.
As always.
And I'm pretty sure the look on your face, you know, hits the mark they're going for. I'm
excited. I'm excited. Give it up for the people in Stockholm, please. Let's give it up for the team in Stockholm. Wow. Wow. Battlefield 5 launches worldwide on October 19th. In the meantime, these guys are giving away free expansion packs in Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. So just head to battlefield.com for all the details. And next up is EA Play on June 9th, where you'll see multiplayer for the very first time. I hope all of you are as excited as I am for Battlefield 5. To watch that trailer again, go to youtube.com/Battlefield. And if you want more info, join some of the team here with Xbox, who are hosting an exclusive post-show on mixer.com/Xbox. That is our show for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I'm Trevor Noah. Good night. Wow.